Well, there was a very big case decided in the United States that is going to change how e-commerce taxes are done in the United States forever. Now, if you are selling online, any kind of products online, this video is for you and it is very important. My name is Darrel, and if you are new here, go ahead and click on that subscribe and bell icon. Now, let's talk about what cases were decided and what cases were reversed that is really going to affect your online business. Now, recently there was a case that overturned a ruling in North Dakota. Now, this original ruling was basically saying that if you are in one state and you sell to another state, you do not owe them sales tax. Well, that was recently overturned in a case in South Dakota versus Wayfair, which now basically says that you do owe them sales tax if you are selling to the United States. Now, a lot of companies like Amazon and Etsy move their kind of companies around to avoid the sales tax. Now, really, there's no avoiding it. So basically what this means in a nutshell is that if you are selling products online to another state on a certain amount, there are some conditions to this, and I'll go over that in just a bit, that you will owe those states sales tax no matter where you're from. Now, this is very conflicting because every state has their own law, but since this case came out, it is kind of changing how e-commerce law is. So for example, in South Dakota, that if you sell more than $100,000 of product in that state of South Dakota, you owe them sales tax regardless of where you're from. Now, this is very confusing, and quite honestly, Congress will need to step in on this case because basically the Supreme Court made a decision that they cannot handle. They're basically saying, yeah, this is correct. So they changed it from physical presence to nexus/virtual presence/influence on a state to basically say that that is a presence there. So basically, South Dakota, their statutes they introduced are saying that if you sell more than $100,000 of product in the state of South Dakota, that you owe them sales tax regardless of where you're from. Now, again, this conflicts with my current state law, so Congress will need to step in and decide, but this case is a very big case because it is basically going to affect the entire United States. Now, companies like TaxJar have come out and talked about what to do right now as far as this goes. So they talk about, should you start collecting sales tax in every single state? And they said no, not yet. Now, this is so broad, like it's so dynamic and it's so advanced that it's very hard to decide what's going to happen. But basically, they're saying that, right now, as far as South Dakota goes, if you sell more than $100,000 of product in that state, you owe them sales tax. Because I know a lot of companies sell online and they go based off what their state decides to do. Now it's kind of more dynamic. So now each state can possibly decide what to collect from you. So I'll leave this in the description right here. And there is also a video that if you want to learn more about, this is Ask the Experts. This is from taxjar.com. There's a panel of 4 people. They basically talk about what to do. And I bet you're wondering, this happened in North Dakota or South Dakota. I live in California. This has no influence over me. This doesn't matter. That is not the case because how it works on United States is basically if there's a case. I was a paralegal at one point. Here's my certification. So I was a corporate paralegal. I have my certification right here. So this is called discovery. And basically why this influences your business, depending on where you go, no matter where you go, is because we look for similar cases to decide future cases. So for example, right here, I put abortion and tax law. Now let's say there's an abortion case, where somebody wants to get an abortion in a certain state. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and find prior cases to decide future cases. So based off rulings from other cases, we can bring that to the judge and say, well, based off this ruling, our standing is correct because this ruling was decided. So right here, the same thing with online tax. Now online tax, right here, you can see that this is already, the South Dakota versus Wayfair is already there. So the states can come out and say, well, depending on, or because of this judgment, we're going to go ahead and implement this on our state, and they're allowed to do that. So it can affect every single state, and it possibly will because what state doesn't want money, Also, this could affect digital services. So right here, this could possibly affect, WordPress companies like Elegant Themes. It could affect Thrive Themes. I don't know about international yet. I think United States is getting closer to that with companies like Elementor being from Israel. I don't know what's going to happen there. As for right now, I don't know tax law as far as international goes, but as far as being in the United States, it could possibly affect these companies depending on what California does. So this is a very, it's a very big decision that was made, and it's really going to affect everyone out there. So if you are selling product to another state, based off what their statutes are, you might owe each and every state sales tax depending on what statutes they decide for their states. And companies like Etsy have come out and they're not happy about this case at all. They're kind of like, this is the word they use, today's decision is not the one we advocated for, so they're not happy about this at all, because now it doesn't matter where they go. If they sell a certain quota to another state, they're going to owe them sales tax. And eBay as well has come out, and they have actually urged Congress to come out and say, look, this is so dynamic and this is so complex. We need Congress to step in and make rules for this, because basically the Supreme Court made a decision they can't handle. That's really what happened here, because even the Supreme Court is like, we don't know now. But since they made this ruling, something must be done, because now all the states can refer to this case and charge sales tax. But since there's conflicting state laws with other state laws, it's very complicated. In the United States, we have the most complicated tax law in the world. Like, we have a federal level, we have a state level, we have a county level, city level, and they're all like pulling and tugging against each other. So it's really hard to decide what's really going to happen. But this case right here will definitely have some outcome on online businesses. So I will leave all of these linked in the description below. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to, talk about this, but this is a very big case, and I haven't really seen anyone else talk about this, but this can really affect a lot of companies. It can affect a lot of people and their businesses as well. So, if you're asking me what should you do right now, I'm just going to go ahead and say, just do what you're doing. Don't panic. Just, keep doing what you're doing. What you should do is call your congressman. Call your congressman and ask them what to do. Say, hey, I saw this thing online. I saw this guy on YouTube talking about it. I don't know what to do. So what should we do? Because I can't give legal advice. It's actually against the law. So I'm not an attorney by any means. So you might want to call your congressman, see what they say. You can also go watch this video, see what these people say. There's a panel of 4 people. It looks like they have some expertise in taxes and tax law, so they might be the people to go to. Again, this is a very big case for e-commerce, because it is changing physical presence to kind of like a virtual presence, you can say. So that changes the ball game in a very big way. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to share it. It wasn't the best news, but maybe this will work out for you. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But anyways, I will see you all in the next video.